gotta have one now because let me go back to the point that I'm gonna make, and then this is gonna be my last statement, and I'm out because this, to me, it seems like you're playing a game. Um,
Mhm.
the, this is how I look at BGS. This is my perception of
Mm-hmm.
BGS. I look at BGS as like the old white dude in Game of Thrones. Remember the blind guy
Mhm.
that was in the he got sent to the wall,
Yeah.
but he was a wealth of information and knowledge.
Yeah.
And then um, Jon Snow was he kept telling Jon, "Don't go across that wall," but he
Yeah.
had to send Uncle Ben across that wall.
Mhm.
Right? I'm Uncle Ben. Okay, I've seen what's coming, and this dumbass argument does not matter.
It
This
doesn't.
is why I am with BGS when he says, "If you out, you out," because you don't have a choice of to what's coming. What is coming ain't got nothing to do with these what black women want, what even what black men want. The environment is going to change.
Okay, so what's it going to change
Regardless,
it to?
the environment is going to change to automation kicking in. You will not have a job.
Yep.
Cerulean answered the question on BGS's last video when it talked about when he talked about the 100,000 people being unemployed
100 million.
in 100 million, excuse me, and Cerulean said that the government is restricting and they're enacting restriction policies to bring everything in house, and the private sector is panicking and automating everything. Whatever job you think you're going to have in for 6 years will not be here. Everything will be automated.
Yep.
Your whole system of black women need to get with a man who's faithful. She ain't gonna have a choice who the fuck she get with. She'll get with any nigga that give her whatever she want.
Yep.
She
What's the
doesn't have
timeline
a
here?
you have till 2025.
It's already started.
It's
Yeah,
already it's
it's already
done.
started.
They are past.
What is
They are
that?
past. They are. Hold on a second. Let me finish because I work with this stuff. They are past the wall. My co-founder just talked. Him and I were talking about this past Sunday. He's talking with dudes up in Dale,
Mm-hmm.
and that are lawyers. They're trying to figure out the legal way to kind of slow it down just a
It,
tad bit
It can't
because but they can't.
it
But they
can't be
can't.
slowed down because you're
It
competing
can't be.
with China. It can't be slowed down.
And it can't be slowed down.
it's
That's the whole point.
already it's already started because you, Obsidian, and many other guys in the Black Manosphere, and I brought it today. I don't know if you saw it or not. Y'all are not noticing the new brand of female fuckery that has invaded the Black Manosphere. The reason why you see so many black women talking about, well, yeah, I can be a good woman if he'll pay this and take care of this and take before they didn't give a shit if you said you could pay. In fact, before, if you said I'll pay for everything, black women was like,
I don't need your money.
I don't need your money.
I don't need your money.
But now they're saying, oh, well, if you pay for everything, I'll be a good woman and I'll do this and there's a whole new brand of fuckery. And right now, the majority of us are completely oblivious to it because we're fucking arguing about mating choice.
Exactly. It's
But
almost literally.
isn't that a form of mate choice though?
No,
They're not
you
gonna have. They're
you
not
don't you
gonna
don't
have a
you
choice.
you do not fucking get it.
It's not mating choice because it's not something. Before, when women were picking, it was based on their biological imperative. Now it's based on some other shit.
Survival. It's called
It's based on
survival.
Survival.
It's survival and entitlement.
It's based
Yeah.
on them
No,
trying to
survival. And they
continue
ain't about
to maintain-
entitlement. They're willing to suck the nuts of any dude that can give them a bar.
I want to make sure I
One at a
understand.
time, one at a 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 time.
A long-term
One at a
process.
time, one at a time, one at a time.
I've been
Who's
in the
first?
fucking
Cerulean. Go ahead, Cerulean. Jump in.
and there were some things that Obsidian said, right? He said that you don't think that racism still affects us today. Okay.
I said racism isn't as big a factor as it once was.
No.
Bullshit.
No. What the exact words that you said was, if that were true, how can you explain black unemployment
Right.
lower than it ever was, right?
Right.
And that's a white libertarian talking point, because the issue isn't black male employment. The issue is black male fucking ownership. You understand?
All right. So what's preventing black men from starting their own business?
Secondly, Secondly, it is called the distribution of wealth, which is calcified in the hands of the 1%.
Okay, so if you want to create wealth, one way to do that is
wait. If
preventing black men from getting married if they want to.
Wait.
Get married.
So let me ask you this: is racism does not affect black people today? Explain to me why all socioeconomic and political factors, when you break them down by every single gradient, the only one that seems to be the predominant factor is the racial wealth gap, not the employment wealth gap. It certainly isn't the education wealth gap. You see? But why is
How do you propose to address this?
Years and decades of bad racially driven policy was what created the racial wealth gap.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that still does affect black folk today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how do you propose to address it?
It's called policy. You focused on pussy instead of policy.
So we're supposed to get laws passed to do what?
Yes. To change the fucking environment.
Yes, dude.
In fact, this is the time to do it because the empire is gone. It's eroded.
Right. So I'm saying, what kind of laws, specific laws, do we need to pass?
Hence the illusion that racism doesn't exist. It's not the fact that racism doesn't exist. It's the fact that, guess what? If I'm a fucking dictator and I got my foot on your neck, but then all of a sudden I start getting attacked from all sides, I might have to take my foot up off your neck to save my ass.
Yep.
That's the reason why it looks like and appears that we're not, shit isn't as racist as it was. Well, there's a number of factors that's playing in that. One factor that's playing into that is the fact that the fucking Chinese are cornering the market on everything. So America doesn't have the ability to lock black people out of certain industry.
Yep.
Not to mention
every time I go live now, there's actually an
I'm trying to understand what policy is preventing.
You going live at City? I mean, Cerulean?
No.
Not tonight. I was gonna say, man, it's kind of late.
Yeah, I'm not.
We get ready to wrap this up in about 15 minutes.
One of the things that needs to gain more fucking momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what policy is preventing black men from opening a business or getting married?
It's called one is called access to capital, which Michael can tell you all about that. Okay, that's the biggest reason.
So-called divorce.
Well, divorce. But saying the thing is, redlining wasn't just keeping your property values down; it's also preventing you from having access to capital.
Yeah, because they have already said it that VC firms do not fund or put money into black men. They don't.
You got to be an extraordinary look. In order for you to be a black entrepreneur in this fucking country, and I know because I've attempted it numerous times.
But wouldn't that be a great opportunity for other venture capitalists to cash in on?
Well, if they weren't racist, it would be. But go ahead, Mike.
Here's the best part about it. Even if you had $100 million, you wouldn't bet on niggas right now. You wouldn't, because what makes money? White boys do. So look at Chameleonaire. Chameleonaire is 100 million. He's worth $100 million. Who does he invest in? White companies. Why? Because it makes some money immediately.
Look,
it's partially about race. They just don't. They look at it.
It's systemic racism.
It's the systemic. They don't.
Go ahead, Valdez. One time. Go ahead, Valdez.
What it is. See, this is the funny thing about this. A lot of times, Obsidian answers his own questions with previous statements.
True.
The previous statement that you made, you sat there and said that you went to an event and you went to numerous events, and in the events, black women were complaining about black men not being this and not being that.
Right.
That's how the entire world views black men. So why the fuck would anybody invest in a black man's business?
Because to get him up to code, to get him up to par.
Because of perceptions of other people and black women. Is that it?
They're the same.
The perceptions of look, there has been a nonstop propaganda campaign against black men ever since the fucking emancipation, even before the Emancipation Proclamation. The reason why people will not invest into black businesses, the very same reason why you and I have the difficulty we have on YouTube trying to get motherfuckers to donate.
Yes.
Is because there is a consensus that the white man's ice is fucking colder.
Yep.
So much so that even gentlemen such as yourself, ABL, and other black men believe the same goddamn thing.
I have people on YouTube steal my information and make money from it that are white.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we believed in the competence of black men, if we honestly believed in the competence of black men, right? If we operated the way white men operate, the way Asian men operate, the way Arab men operate, would you niggas really be on here talking shit about Pookie and Ray Ray?
Look,
I wasn't talking shit about Pookie and Ray Ray. I was addressing black women.
But listen, how many times
That was my whole point being on the air.
This is not even what the whole hangout was about. Go ahead, real quick, Valdez.
Let me ask you this question: How many times have you seen white men addressing white women in reference to sorry white men?
According to Tom Leykis, all the time.
Nah.
Oh, good Lord.
Nah.
He said according to you.
Go ahead, Chaos. Go ahead, Chaos.
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead to Chaos.
Wait. One more round of comments, and I'm actually gonna say goodnight. All right, because I didn't plan for this to go on this long.
Wait, with this cut conversation, this is going in circles, and I know you're old dude, BJS, and if you never got gray hairs and you don't got no brainism, you're gonna get one tonight. Because
my women don't go in as much circles.
It makes me want to see if you're really playing really dumb on this, because this should be normal conversation where you have to really think about this, you know, and do a little digging, because right now the dudes that's laying some pretty much information out here, and you seem like this is like non-existent, like this is something foreign new. It actually pieces puzzles to the pie that a lot of people want to ask, especially when it comes to women. That's what I'm gonna say.
No, because BGS's point is the point I'm making is this. BGS said this, I think, a year ago. You've already won. You have already won. You're just complaining that it's not on your plate right now. Women are going to pick you competent motherfuckers left day all day every day. The only problem that you're going to have is you ain't going to be able to keep them for long because you won't have a job, and the economy in America will change. That's my point.
Oh, and one other thing I do want to say. Sorry, one more thing I want to say, and also about women. Isn't it ironic women knows the environment much better than some of the males today? Have you noticed that, guys?
Exactly.
Because males are focused on pussy. Women are focused on survival of their children.
Have you noticed that? So it tells me, and Osisha knows better, that means they know what really going on. And Charles, you there?
I'm here.
He's there.
Remember we had this conversation about our young boys? They deliberately intentionally keep out of competition. They're more prepared.
Hold on, Charles. Hold on, Cerulli. Go ahead, Charles.
Yeah, remember we had these conversations, right, about these boys and with their mothers, right? They deliberately know what's going on, and they sit there and prepare their son for Armageddon, for disaster. With this, right? Can we agree on this, Charles?
Yeah.
They're aware of this more. So when they complain about this is what I'm at a point where I say I don't give a fuck what they say now, because they deliberately doing this and they just don't really give a fuck.
Yeah, so and they don't know shit.
And you're right, and they don't know
listen to people that don't know shit. That's what I'm getting frustrated about. They don't know shit. Why are you listening to them? They don't know shit. I got women. 20% of my subs are with females. Why did they come here? Because I'm telling them some shit that they can't find anyplace else. Exactly. That's why they come here.
Let's be honest about this whole woman. Here's an easy debunk. Historically, what woman has a complaint about a man, and the man gave her everything she wanted?
No. No.
You got to stop the bullshit. Because if you go into a thing where it's basically a paid bitch session, because that's what it is. First and foremost, brothers came up during the Civil War, grabbed rifles, not only freed the country, not only freed Lincoln's ass, but freed their own damn families. And you know what the thanks we got? We got a poem called "Ain't I a Woman."
I heard that. I heard that.
Listen, if your women come to you and pose, see the problem with women is how you know they lost. It's because it's the question that they posed. If you are so much better than somebody, you don't go to that individual and go, "What can you offer me?"
Yeah, yep.